Picture an America where electricity is continually reliable, clean, and affordable. This future is possible, and it begins with nuclear energy. We all rely on energy every single day. We use it to bring light to our homes, to charge our electronic devices, and to bring power to subways and other public transportation. Since we rely so heavily upon energy, shouldn't we strive to figure out the most efficient and clean way to get this energy? According to the U.S. Department of Energy, when referring to nuclear energy, states it powers communities in 28 U.S. states and contributes to many non-electric applications, ranging from the medical field to space exploration. Over the past 3 years, I have studied Physical Science Biology 1 and Biology 2. This has led me to gain a solid understanding of the scientific principles of energy production, radiation, and environmental impacts. Today, I will walk you through how investing in new and safe nuclear reactors, making it easier to get approval for nuclear plants, and creating secure methods for nuclear waste recycle are necessary steps America must take to resolve the problems fossil fuels create as our main source of energy, when nuclear energy can bring much more efficiency and cleanliness to our country. To begin, let's dive into the problems that the reliance on fossil fuels for America's main energy source presents, and provide a plan for change by using nuclear energy. According to the greenhouse gas emissions, humanity-related emissions have significantly increased the amount of CO2 put into Earth's atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution because of fossil fuels. Another source, Engineering and Technology, says the new findings estimate that the pollutants nitrogen oxide and fine particulate matter and ozone from U.S. oil and gas production contributed to 7,500 excess deaths, 410,000 asthma attacks, and 2,200 new cases of childhood asthma across the country. These high statistics are extremely concerning, and they show the real consequences that come with just using fossil fuels as our main source of energy. It not only negatively impacts our environment, but it also leads to terrible health concerns to people as well. This graph demonstrates that fossil fuel CO2 emissions have steadily risen for over the century, and only major global crises temporarily slowed them, showing how heavily current human activity relies on fossil fuels and how much CO2 they continue to add to the atmosphere. What is the significance of this? With these negative effects, the possibility for a rise in worsening respiratory health, environmental degradation, and even climate change contribution all has the strong potential to occur. However, these devastating effects could drastically change with the implementation of nuclear energy as our main source of energy. Nuclear energy does not emit these harmful chemicals into the atmosphere, therefore it does not pose as a threat to the environment and people's health. So, what is the cause of large amounts of fossil fuel and harmful chemical emission in America? According to the World Health Organization, fuel combustion, transportation, power generation, industry, and home heating is a major source of pollutants like nitrogen dioxide and fine particulate matter. These pollutants come from the high temperature burning of fuels. This leads to a large amount of pollutants being released into the atmosphere, especially in countries where fossil fuels are their main source of energy, such as America. Now that we have recognized the problem that fossil fuels create for our health and environment in America, let's discuss steps we can take to resolve this problem through nuclear energy. The plan that I propose will be implemented at the state level under federal government supervision. My reasoning for this is although this is a national problem, I believe it would be best to execute this nuclear energy effort through the power of each state. This would enable each state to make adjustments due to their specific needs while still applying the push for nuclear energy utilization. I propose that each state invests in new and safe nuclear reactors, simplifies the method for getting approval for nuclear plants, and creates secure methods for safe nuclear waste recycle. They would invest in new and safe nuclear reactors by giving grants to companies who use advanced and low-risk designs. Then they would simplify the approval process by creating a single agency to handle all the permits required to put nuclear energy power plants in place. Finally, they would manage and recycle nuclear waste safely by requiring all waste to be stored in approved and secure facilities with digital records to track. This proposal would realistically happen over a longer time frame, potentially 10 to 15 years. Now that I've gone over my plans to solve the problems that fossil fuels as main source of energy bring, I'd like to go over why this plan will be successful as well as practical. My plan ensures that each state begins efforts implementing nuclear energy as the main source, therefore turning America from a fossil fuel dependent country to a nuclear energy dependent country. An example of a similar plan being put in place like this one is France. According to Pioneer Academic Publishing Limited, the fact that nuclear energy in France has developed so rapidly and with such great success is due to the combined efforts, a consistent nation policy over time, a unique cultural climate, strong governmental awareness and popular cooperation, and the introduction of technology and innovation. This shows how policy being introduced into America, similar to the one France has in place, can bring success, progress, and sustainability to the country. The most apparent counterclaim to my plan is the worry of nuclear energy as an unsafe source of energy. According to Foreign Press Correspondence USA, Professor of Nuclear Energy and Radiologist Sciences Majdi Radeyata says understanding and addressing how the public feels about nuclear energy is essential for a just transition to clean energy. She is referring to people's concerns about the safety of nuclear energy due to the dangerous past it is known for. However, nuclear power plants have advanced and have become a very safe way to produce energy. The advantages of pushing towards nuclear energy as a main energy source is it is a cleaner, more efficient, and more powerful source of energy. However, my plan does come with disadvantages. One disadvantage is that to get this policy and movement in place, it will take a high initial cost. Another disadvantage, which I have stated earlier, is the negative public perception and opposition many have to this idea of nuclear energy. Though the initial investment of pushing towards America becoming a nuclear dependent country is expensive, in the long term it will offset this initial investment and bring so many more positives that fossil fuels did. As safety advancements have taken place, modern reactor designs are much safer than older ones, and the environmental and long-term societal benefits far outweigh the negative thoughts some may have associated with nuclear energy. Today I have discussed with you some of the many problems that fossil fuels bring to America by being our main source of energy. In order to combat these negatives, it is critical to invest in new and safe nuclear reactors, make it easier to get approval for nuclear plants, and create secure methods for safe nuclear waste recycle. By embracing the safe and advanced nuclear energy today, the future of American energy can become cleaner, more powerful, and more sustaining for generations to come.